Our next speaker is Tomasiello, who is the Senior Regional Director of Sales and Solution Development at Dematic. He's been with the company for 20 years, responsible for the design and development of some of the leading order fulfillment and logistics systems projects in the Asia-Pacific region. Paz's diverse career spans over 30 years in the engineering, project management, business management, and consulting fields. It now brings me great pleasure to welcome your next speaker, Tomasiello.
Thank you, Daniel, for that introduction, and good morning. Welcome to my presentation on accelerating the adoption of automation. I'm honoured to have been given this opportunity by CMAT, and I truly hope this session provides you some insights into driving agility and resilience into your supply chain so you can stay ahead of your competition. Let's start by looking at some megatrends underpinning the need to rethink your supply chain. Labour and urbanisation are the first two I mentioned, because they underpin so much of what I will present today. Empowered consumers and online growth have been amplified in recent times. And now we have crisis and disruption, with IoT and digitisation overlaying it all. Finding and retaining labour in the distribution centre is becoming increasingly difficult. Keeping your staff safe, complying with regulations, and needing higher productivity from our people. These are real challenges that many of us are faced with. Occupational health and safety is always top of mind, but in an ageing workforce, to keep up with demand and the changing dynamics within our supply chain, we are asking our teams to work increasingly faster and more efficiently. Yet to be efficient, you need a reliable and consistent labour force with predictable costs. In ANZ, the cost of labour has and is forecasted to continue to grow faster than CPI, so we see the challenges of increased and often unpredictable costs, less availability, and with a high turnover. Having fulfillment centres close to the customer is a key topic. With increasing urbanisation, land is becoming scarce and increasingly more expensive. According to Frank Knight Research 2020, commercial land in Sydney has reduced by 35% in the last 5 years. In Auckland, rent for warehousing has increased by 25% in the last 3 years. Today, if we want a product, we expect almost limitless choices. Expect it to be available, delivered fast and directly to our front door, and all at a reasonable price. Whether it's the latest mobile device, an item of clothing that we just saw being worn by our favourite celebrity, homewares, or a part for the classic car we're rebuilding. We expect to be able to shop from anywhere, be it the cafe, the park, or our bedroom. And if we don't like it, we expect to be able to send it back free of charge. Convenience dominates our thinking. Consumers have more information at their fingertips than ever before, with 85% of people in Australia and New Zealand currently in possession of a smartphone. It's not uncommon for us to use our mobile device to check online while shopping. According to KPMG, statistically, over 60% of consumers will look at product information and do an online price comparison on the shop floor. We do enjoy our ability to touch, feel, and try before we buy. And should our impulses get the better of us, purchase and obtain the item straight away. And let's not forget the social experience with friends and family. However, more and more people are avoiding the shops in fear they may run into traffic jams, congested car parks, crowds, long queues, and screaming kids, possibly only to find out the product is not in store. And obviously with COVID-19, people are avoiding the shops more than ever. So you may ask yourself, why do we still like to shop in stores? During the GFC and following years of recovery, online retail grew at 21% per annum. While the data for full year 2020 is not available yet, it looks like 2020 will show the highest annual growth in online sales ever. The latest data from the ABS for October 2020 shows year-on-year growth of 71%. Growth in online can be partially accounted for by consumers being more value-driven during an economic downturn. And during COVID, on top of consumers watching their pennies, we have the added impact of people not wanting to go out. It's convenient. We can shop whenever, wherever. We have what seems to be almost unlimited choice. We expect fast delivery and free, easy returns. presenting challenges never really experienced before within supply chains throughout the globe. We are all living through and have been affected in some way by the COVID-19 pandemic. However, major disruptors are not foreign to us, be it last year's bushfires, earthquakes, droughts, floods, or cyclones, yet we have proven to be resilient. We are also not immune to global crises such as economic crashes. Socioeconomic shocks drive step change in consumer behaviour. Unsurprisingly, COVID-19 accelerated online shopping. Resilience is important to withstand disruptions and maintain service levels. Companies need to be prepared for increased order volumes and often with fewer people. So how do companies survive and thrive in this new age of the empowered consumer? Companies are capitalising on digitisation to give them the competitive edge, to provide them with customer insights, as well as insights into their operations, to provide a seamless interface between humans, products, automation, robotics, big data, to maximise operational visibility, performance, and responsiveness to customer demand. Companies are also addressing these challenges by investing in automated systems that provide real-time transactional visibility, high capacity, throughput, and responsiveness. Innovative integrated materials handling solutions go a long way to facing these challenges head-on, ensuring that you are prepared and leading the way not only for today, but for what lies ahead. The supply chain and distribution task is rapidly growing and evolving to support this growth. Dematic has developed solutions and subsystems to enable our customers to adapt to these changing needs, and in a time where retail therapy has never felt so good, but with our supply chains stretched to their limits. In the coming slides, I will introduce you to some of the key solutions developed to address these changing and evolving requirements. Let's start with how distribution centres have operated in the past and what the new landscape may look like. Many existing supply chains utilise large distribution centres to typically fulfil bulk orders to replenish traditional storefronts. With this ever-changing landscape, distribution centres are now required to replenish not only the storefront, but also to fulfil e-commerce orders and have them delivered direct to consumers. A recent development in the industry has been the introduction of micro-fulfillment centres, often known as MFCs. These mini distribution centres, usually located in urban areas and/or the back of existing stores, are packed with automation to reduce the footprint and rapidly deliver product to storefronts and also direct to consumers. Note too that click and collect is also now pushing more of this picking load into the stores. So this video is a video of the Toll Distribution Centre at Preston's in Sydney. What you see here is a large-scale automated goods-to-person picking system, comprising of a multi-shuttle storage buffer system storing a couple of 100,000 totes and delivering those totes to any one of 24 pick stations where the operator simply picks and packs the product. You can see here the operator instructed under a touchscreen to pick a certain quantity of the product coming out from the engine via a product tote transfer and into either an order carton or an order tote on the left, as the case may be. The system is geared to be able to deliver all the products required for that order that sits on the left-hand side of the station together, and can also deliver those products in sequence should the need be to pack the carton or the tote in a particular sequence, heavy, large, coloured sizes, etc. Whatever the case may be, we can deliver all the products in exactly the right sequence. This next video shows an Autostore system. This is one of the highest density storage systems on the market. What you see here is the ability of an automated goods-to-person system to store totes in stacks of up to 16 high in a very tightly packed grid structure, with robots running along the top, able to retrieve and store totes within the grid structure. Fast-moving SKUs naturally migrate to the top because they're more often accessed by the robots, and slower-moving SKUs naturally migrate to the bottom, dealing with a wide range of SKU profiles. The totes are delivered again to a pick station where the picker is instructed to pick items out of the product tote and into an order carton or an order tote. The system can be designed and configured to go around columns and particular requirements within an existing distribution center. So it is very ideally suited to retrofitting into your existing space, and can grow and be scalable and modular to grow with the business, as well as accommodating changes to the order profile and or the volumes and throughput of the future. This next video shows the evolution of this order fulfillment system to robotic picking. Now, the last few videos still had an operator completing the order fulfillment task and doing the picking. So the natural question is, why wouldn't you replace the operator with a robot? There's a lot of science and maths that goes into answering that question and getting an ROI on the robot, which is outside the scope of this presentation. But I very much would like to draw your attention to the way that the robot works. The mechatronics of the robot itself is a well-advanced piece of technology and has been around for a long time. The true smarts in this subsystem is the AI and the visioning system to be able to identify exactly which unit inside the product tote needs to be picked. That same software, that same artificial intelligence, then manages the robotic arm to be able to either pick and drop the product into the order carton or tote, or place carefully depending on the product characteristics and the packing requirements of the order. This is an evolving technology. Typically around the world, this technology is being deployed in pharmaceutical environments and is now making its way into a broader range of industry segments, dealing with a far broader range of SKU profiles and SKU characteristics. Now to a topic that has always been there in the background, but is increasing in importance as e-commerce accelerates, that is returns. Within the e-commerce sector, excuse me, returns is an operation that is growing in demand due to requirements and behaviours of the consumer. Consumers are looking for a couple of key things when selecting a supplier. How easy is it going to be to return my goods? And when am I getting my money back or a credit? As a supplier, the key is how quickly and seamlessly can I get the returns process completed and have the goods ready for picking. The Dematic return subsystem utilises conveyors and a series of inspection benches to enable and complete these tasks. Once the credit and inspection tasks are complete, the goods are returned into the storage buffer, multi-shuttle or Autostore, for example, as the case may be, and those goods will be ready to be picked for an outbound order. Whilst the previous technologies addressed the task of order fulfillment, often bulk inventory, storage and retrieval, especially within the food and beverage industry, is paramount. The benefits of ASRS, otherwise known as automatic storage and retrieval systems, are summarised as follows: increased storage density, reduced footprint, reduced energy costs, increased reliability, responsiveness, safety, and visibility and traceability. By reducing aisle widths and increasing the storage height up to 45 metres, ASRS can provide significantly higher storage density than conventional pallet storage systems. With more products stored in a smaller cubic area, ASRS can reduce ongoing energy costs over the system's lifespan, especially when running in a temperature control facility. With no staff operating within the ASRS warehouse, safety issues and injuries associated with manually operated equipment are virtually eliminated. In parallel, costly damages to equipment are no longer an issue. Also, the stored product itself cannot be accidentally damaged, which drives up product delivery quality. Furthermore, stock can't be lost or forgotten as the system provides complete real-time visibility. This also enables full traceability, including batch and lot control. So the savings generated by an ASRS are well beyond the obvious reduction in reliance on labour. New types of automation break the paradigm that a truly flexible solution is only possible when operating in a manual environment. While traditional automation such as conveyor technologies provide performance that exceed manual operations, they came at a cost of somewhat being inflexible to adjust to future changes. The latest generation of automation counters the limitations of previous technologies, being more flexible and at the same time more powerful and modular, so it can be better address tomorrow's requirements. With the new generation of automation, the old paradigm is revolutionized by providing productivity and speeds that are a quantum leap compared to traditional automation, but also providing flexibility levels that can now surpass manual solutions, which has opened up new applications throughout the supply chain. So just a quick visual of modularity, flexibility, and scalability. We start with a single aisle of multi-shuttle storage with a single pick station. This is an entry-level system with about 4,000 to 5,000 totes stored and the ability for the operator to pick at about 250 lines per hour. If you need to add storage but without needing to add throughput, simply add a storage aisle. Here, the addition of a storage aisle utilises Dematic's patented what we call inter-aisle transfer technology, and that is the ability to transfer a storage tote from one aisle to another within the multi-shuttle system itself, that is, without needing to bring it out to external conveyors, thereby ensuring that all the products required to fulfil an order at that one pick station are made available in the aisle in front of that pick station. Add another storage aisle with maybe a bit of conveyor. You can add more pick stations to increase picking throughput. Yet another aisle with another pick station, again increasing both storage and throughput. Some takeaway conveyor and, if required, a sortation system at the end. And easily expandable, scalable, modular, the end result being a 3-aisle, 3-pick station, sortation-based dispatch system, a full and complete order fulfillment system that has grown with your business. Whether we are talking about DCs, fulfillment centres or stores, one thing that is clear is the role that technology and software will have going forward. Having the automation technology by itself is not enough. Software is vital in gathering and analysing data and turning it into information that can be used to make business decisions. And with the evolution of artificial intelligence, more and more of these decisions will be made automatically. We are investing heavily in development of software products to support our customers' operations. There is going to be a need for software to be so integrated and so interconnected that just considering what is going to be within the 4 walls of a DC or fulfillment centre isn't going to be sufficient. There is a need to look beyond the 4 walls, to add value with software, to support management of multiple sites, hubs, fulfillment centres, transport management, order collection, and integrating all of these with order fulfillment, optimising the management and movement of inventory within the network and providing data availability, making sure all of the data generated can be made available to customer software systems used throughout their supply chains. While modern automation can address the key benefits that you see here, it has also proven to be a true competitive advantage to cope with the challenges of the current COVID pandemic, as well as other disruptions. Supply chain automation is more than ever an essential part of the supply chain strategy to ensure a product can be delivered safely at a minimised cost without any significant interruption. Resilience is important to withstand disruptions, and businesses need to be prepared for sudden demand spikes. Flexible automation can play a big part in business continuity, as it can easily work around the clock if required, far easier than a manual labour force. By reducing the dependence on staff, it lets you deal with spikes that are induced by panic buying or change buying patterns, and provides additional resilience to staff shortages. The lights out warehouse, the ultimate level of automation, can run with minimal human intervention and keep the supply chain in motion. So when designed with change requirements in mind, automation can play a significant role in the continuity of operations. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the remainder of the conference.